I think the
Um,
show is really what would happen if women ruled the world.
oh, that's good. Yeah. I like to think of the show as a dystopic slumber party wrapped in a conspiracy. It's a character driven show about what it's like to come of age, but it's also sort of a heart palpitating survivalist show about what it takes to survive in the wild, with this amazing umbrella of a conspiracy where we learn very quickly that there's a woman who may have something to do with why these women have ended up where they are. And that woman is played by
This
Rachel
was the
Griffiths.
best pilot I've read, probably really for a good 5 or 6 years. When I work, I usually have to leave my family. That's probably true for Amy as well. So we don't take these decisions lightly. You just have to fall in love with the material. And even though the pilot script, very similarly to Six Feet Under, only had a tiny teaser of who I was, which means you're signing on to the dotted line before you have any idea where you're going. You just trust that this is the voice of a generation. It's so rare. It is just like finding that new novelist that's come out of nowhere and is going to, win the Booker Prize. You just know this is an important writer. It's incredibly rare. I also loved how diverse the characters were, how ambitious it was to represent all kinds of facets of young female experience. If you have sick parents, if you're low socioeconomic, if your parents are First Nation, if you're the daughter of immigrants who have incredibly high expectations for you, if you're in a college track program to get to the Olympics. Like, I just loved that there was someone for every girl to identify with, either through race or class or interests or personality type. Um, there's someone there for you. And when I grew up, none of that was on
I
television.
think for me, when I read Sarah Stryker's script, Jamie Tarzus, who was the first female president of a network in America, she said, I think you're going to like the script, see what you think, because she was always very casual and calm. She wasn't going to be like, you'll love it, just sign on. And I called her and said, this is spectacular. And the line that got to me was, if you think it's hard to survive on a deserted island, try being a teenage girl. And to me, that really spoke to the excitement, trauma, uh, of being a teenager and what that's like when I was growing up. And I know for my friends who have teenagers, as I'm about to have a teenage daughter, um, it's a scary time. And to be able to tell these coming of age stories while also getting to tell these really exciting survival stories and do some deep dives into that. It was thrilling. And to be able to come to New Zealand and use these unbelievable locations and create these amazing stunts, it was truly an opportunity of a lifetime for me. And to know that Sarah Stryker was this writer who really understood what she wanted and that we got to chase that together was deeply thrilling for me. That's what I'm always looking for as a writer, is something I want to write, not just today, but I know a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, I'm still going to be interested in what we're talking about. I think similar to, I think what Rachel said about wanting to see yourself in on television is a hugely important piece of the puzzle. I remember when I worked on Sex and the City, people came up to me after the first premiere and said, "Oh my God, this is my life. It's happening exactly like this." And then they would tell me a story that wasn't at all like the story that we had told in the episode. But what I realized very quickly was we were speaking to the kind of heartbreaks and relationships and emotional stuff that people were not seeing on TV. They felt seen finally.
Mm, mm.
And so a show like this, I hope, does the same thing. And it's why, as a showrunner, my job is to hire writers who really represent different diversities in terms of ethnicity, in terms of socioeconomic, in terms of issues that they struggle with or triumphs that they have. to be able, that's why I love TV writing, to be so collaborative allows us to tell a lot of different types of stories. And hopefully, maybe you don't see, maybe you haven't had the same experience Leah in the pilot has with the way your heart was broken, but you've had your heart broken. Or maybe you have, you know, struggled to be the best version of yourself, but not in a sport, but in academics. Or so to me, it's like, oh, finding ways to see yourself in TV is, I think, why people come to television, because not only do you care and fall in love with these characters, but you see a part of yourself in them.